It is so late into July, I don't even want to admit it. We have to talk about my June reads and my July TBR list. Oh, do I have so many exciting June reads to talk about? Literally so many of these are all-time faves now. And I feel like the books I want to read in July are like super exciting. So let's talk about the books I read. We have to start with Sunburn. If you have not heard of this book or read it yet, oh my god. This is like the sapphic homoerotic teenage friendship blueprint of the sapphic experience in your teenage years. Also, every single page is highlighted, tabbed, underlined 10 times over. This book both felt like it changed my brain chemistry, while also after every single page wondering who published my high school journals. Like, it was the most universal, relatable experience, but also being like, whoa, I thought that these were all unique. It just felt so universal, but also as a teenager, you think you're having the most unique experience where genuinely you feel like nobody could ever feel the way that I feel. And then you pick up Sunburn. This book was everything to me. So like, I could talk about this for days. So good. I get it. I get the hype. I get why everybody was yelling at me to read this book. June, July, summer is just the perfect time of year to read Sunburn. And it's done in such a beautiful, the prose too is so beautiful. I love the prose. I love everything about this. There's so many metaphors here. It was good. That's all I can say. You need to read Sunburn. Specifically on my TikTok, a lot of people have mentioned Harper Bliss, that I need to read a Harper Bliss book. So I read my first Harper Bliss book. I picked up Love Me Like You Shouldn't. This one was fun. I get the hype. I definitely want to read more. Highly recommend. I also read Jennifer Dugan's Some Girls Do. This one was so cute. It's a YA like teen romance about two girls that come from pretty different backgrounds in high school and like their family dynamics, falling for each other for the first time, and they're at different phases in their identity and sexuality. So they're both navigating that as well. There's a couple of things in here that are very frustrating, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't have done any better at 16 or 17 or however old they were in this. I'm learning that I love Jennifer Dugan now. This is my second or third book by her, but I want to pick up Love at First Set next because that one is also upstairs on my TBR list. And then the memoir for June was Untamed by Glennon Doyle. Again, I see why so many people told me to pick up this book. I am definitely so late to the party here. Oh my god, I related to this so much. Did I marry a husband, have a couple of kids, and then divorce him and marry a woman? No, but my own experiences definitely mirrored this, along with so much compet that I think she went through. And just, there's so many quotes in here where I was like, I feel that. Like, this is so real, this is so relatable, and everything that she went through. I feel like if you relate to that kind of like coming out later on in life experience, or thinking of going down one path and then realizing you've been like struck by lightning and you're going in a completely different direction, you will get something out of this. I feel like it's the reviews that I saw on Goodreads that didn't really get the book were people that probably never experienced what she felt like. I feel like I felt it a little bit. So totally get the hype here. I loved it. It was perfect for Pride Month too, because I definitely wanted to sprinkle in as much queer representation in my reads as I could. The arc that I read in June was Lisa Jewell's It Could Have Been Her. I really liked this. I read Don't Let Him In a few months ago by Lisa Jewell, and to be honest, that one kind of flopped for me. I just could not get into it. So I was a little bit nervous about this arc because it's based on a side character in that book, but it gives kind of like a Nancy Drew amateur detective vibe, which is trying to solve like a local mystery of a missing girl in her neighborhood and like some past with this like house and history and missing girls in general. So I liked this one so much more. Could not put it down. Read it really quickly. Highly recommend, especially if Don't Let Him In kind of flopped for you too. I have a feeling you're going to enjoy It Could Have Been Her so much more. It also kind of reminded me of The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. It had like the same kind of abnormal something's going on in that house type of feeling, and I liked that. This next book is actually just a prop because I already loaned it out to one of my friends, but I finally finished Eastern Body, Western Mind. This book is huge, like bigger than this book. It's The God of the Woods, by the way. I was trying to find a book that had like the same amount of pages, but I genuinely think Eastern Body, Western Mind is so much bigger than The God of the Woods because it took me 3 months to get through. I was definitely absorbing as much of it as I could and really taking my time to soak in the information because it was so interesting. I've talked about it in my last two wrap-ups, so I don't want to be too repetitive here. It basically combines Western psychology, childhood trauma, things that you go through, to Eastern medicine and spirituality in like a very healing way. And like this book specifically combines the 7 chakras to different phases in our lives and the abuse that might have happened, like neglect or trauma. And if you're at like like if you have a blockage in like your chakra 1, it has to do with how you were treated from newborn to 12 months, you know, and there's something in that rooted in you that created this. Oh, it was so good. So highly recommend that book. Like I said, it's already loaned out to a friend of mine, so I have been recommending that book to people in my life. It definitely seems intimidating just because it's so massive, but I really tried to commit to just reading like 30 pages a day. And sometimes it was 50 pages, sometimes it was 10. As long as you read a little bit each day, you're gonna get through it. And another more like self-help therapy type of book that I read in June was Trauma Stewardship. This was written by somebody that has worked in trauma for decades, and it's kind of like, how do you take care of yourself when you're exposed to so much trauma and absorbing a lot of other people's trauma? Do I work in trauma? No, but I think the average human is exposed to so much trauma these days that anyone could kind of get something out of this book. Like, I have my own trauma that I was exposed to, so kind of seeing like how other people navigate that was really interesting. There's also a lot of like comics and things in here to kind of break up the darker topics, and I liked all the visuals. Like there's a pie chart graph thing here on like the 5 directions, and then a trauma exposure response type of web. So definitely got a handful of things out of this one as well, and I think I would recommend that one to honestly anyone, but that is what I read in June. Now it is already July 8th, I believe, when I'm filming this video, and I've already read 4 books in July. So who knows how many I will actually get through on this list, but I have 10 other books that I would love to get to this month, and if not in July, then definitely August. I'm just gonna dive right on into the books that are up next on the list. I don't think I'm going to mention the 4 books quite yet that I've read in July, but some of them were so good. I'm getting off of a high right now of the last book that I just read because, oh my gosh, help, I'm still at the restaurant. I'm actually rereading it right now and annotating it because I read it so quickly the first time that I didn't even highlight, tab, anything. So now I'm rereading it with the knowledge of what's going to happen and then taking notes. If you follow my book talk or bookstagram, you definitely know which book I'm talking about because I have made so many videos about it. I just cannot shut up. It is it's on my mind constantly. I think I'm gonna pick up this book next, and that is none other than Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Boylan's Mad Honey. Oh, I've been wanting to read this book for the last couple of summers. For some reason, this always felt like a July read to me. It just feels like a summer book, and what's really special about this copy of mine is not only did I find this at Half Price Books, and not only is it a first edition, it is a signed first edition. I don't have any signed books by these authors yet, so this is so special to me. A lot of people have been telling me to pick this up or that I'm going to love it, so I cannot wait to read that book. And then I've also felt very gravitated toward Pictures of You by Emma Gray recently, so I think I'm going to read this one soon as well. I know a little bit about the plot. I don't like knowing a lot about book plots, to be honest, but based on what I know so far, I do feel like I'm ready for it, and I feel like it's gonna hit. Maybe, if we're lucky, I'll even cry, because sometimes you just want a good cry out of a book. The arc that I have chosen for July, I'm so excited for, and it's one that I've been talking about a lot lately. It's really pulling me in. It is Nina LaCour's new release, Meet Me in the Garden. This one comes out in August, and just the way that it's being described on the back, you know, people are calling it the modern Carol of our times, and I love Carol, also known as The Price of Salt, but the movie's called Carol. So if they're calling it that, I'm like, I gotta see why you said that. I've talked about this before, but all of the things on the back, it's like a lesbian love story for the ages, a beautiful novel, gorgeous sensory exploration of life's richest moments led by 2 soulful and complex women. Coming off of, okay, spoiler alert, I will tell you what I just read because I'm about to reference it, but coming off of Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, yes, I'm looking for 2 soulful and complex women. I do like to sprinkle in a couple of thrillers throughout the month, so if I'm feeling called to, I guess I already read one thriller this month, I will not tell you what it is yet, but if I want to read more thrillers, I feel like Sally Hepworth's The Mother-in-Law would be really fun to read in the summertime, especially at my pool. I also feel like one of her books is like a sequel of the other. I want to make sure that's not this one. I don't think it is. Doesn't she have one book that is a sequel? I need to do some research before I start that book, but I do really want to read that. And then another Lisa Jewell book that I have yet to read is I Found You. Now this has like a beachy cover as well. Now the memoir for July, I actually just unboxed this earlier today, and I was like, I'm reading this one immediately because it sounds so good. It's heavier, but it definitely sounds like a really good memoir that is kind of out of my typical memoirs that I've been reading, aka celebrity memoirs or like queer sapphic memoirs, and that is by Clark Fredericks. This is from Atria. They literally just sent this to me today. It's called Scarred, a memoir of a childhood stolen and a life reclaimed. It is heavy. I was skimming the back thinking that maybe I'll mention what it's about, and I don't even think I want to mention what it's about on here, but it involves, you know, what he went through as a child by someone that he saw as a hero, aka a local law enforcement officer, and what he did to him as like a predator. Why do I do this to myself? I feel like it's important though. Like, I want to read the book, but it's going to be a heavy memoir for sure. I also recently did find Love Warrior, as you saw in that Goodwill haul. So I feel like if I don't read this right after like riding the wave of reading Untamed, I might never pick it up. So I do want to read this as soon as I can as well. And then if I'm looking for something light to read, something fast to get me back into the groove of like, I don't know, if I'm going through a reading slump or something, I do really want to pick up The Sun and Her Flowers soon. I enjoyed Homebody. And then, you know me, I've got a couple of self-help spiritual therapy books on here as well. So the more spiritual book that I want to pick up is The Universe is Calling You. This book has been calling me from my TBR pile recently, so I feel like it's time. And then the more therapy-based book that I think I'm going to read next, I am in the middle of one right now, so when I finish that one, I want to pick up It Didn't Start With You. This has been on my TBR list for years now. I bought this back in 2021, but it feels time, especially coming off of the trauma stewardship book. This is the next one. But those are 10 books that I would love to get to also this month in July. I do have to head out soon. Yeah, I'm getting drinks with somebody in 45 minutes, so I gotta go. I hope everyone had a wonderful month, is having a wonderful month, and I'll see you soon with a new video. Bye!